Recording. There we go. So we're now recording. What I'd like to do, first of all, is just talk about some NAR, IAR, and MIBOR updates. Not a lot going on with NAR and IAR. Apparently, from IAR's perspective, they recognize that there may be some issues with the forms that they put out on the on July 1. However, those are not going to be corrected until January. So why that's the case, I'm not sure, but we have to make do with them the way that they are. Don't forget that ethics is due this year. So if you have not done your ethics, you need to do that. If you take your training on a regular basis from Jay Rose, then you've already had your ethics. But if you don't, then you may want to make sure that you've had your ethics. It's due December 31 of this year. So just remember that. One thing I want to warn you about in today's communication from MIBOR, they cautioned against advertising commission anywhere on the BLC or on any associated platforms, so the showing service and etc. And they are instituting fines as of August 17th. And there will be an immediate fine. So there's not a grace. They gave you a grace period from July 1 to August 17th. From this point forward, you will pay a fine if you violate advertising commission on any platform. So just beware. You'll get an email, I'll get an email, and you'll get an immediate fine for doing it. I may get a fine too, I don't know. So don't do it. That's the best answer for that. So just a reminder of the importance of not advertising commissions or compensation. Although it did occur to me that if we really wanted to get around it, we could potentially advertise commissions in the listing when it's shown. I don't know that would be a violation, but
like a printout? Is that what you mean?
Huh?
Like a printout sheet in the home itself? Is that what you mean?
Well, we put signs in, feature signs, right? For buyers. Maybe you put a sign in there that says seller paying buyer commission. I don't know.
It's already out, Jim.
Huh?
It's already out. Agents are doing that already.
Oh, agents are doing that?
Yeah. I went yesterday for a listing appointment on Noblesville. Yeah. And I saw at least 3 agents already advertising on their sign, BAC 2.5 or commission is paid, already doing it.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they're already doing it. Again, I would be cautious. I think that ultimately that will draw the ire of the Department of Justice, while not a violation of the settlement. I think it could draw the ire of people. I think what they want is it to be negotiated, and probably the best place to negotiate it is in the purchase agreement. But I don't see it being advertised in the listing itself. We're not forbidden to advertise commission. We're just forbidden to advertise it on the MLS or any of the MLS tools. So putting it in the listing or on the sign, I wouldn't put on the sign. I mean, that's for buyers, drive-by traffic, and etc. what you're wanting is to advertise to the other brokers, right? And so they're always with their client when they're going through a listing, right? So if we're in the listing, they're going to see it for every listing. Now, how the Department of Justice would see that, I don't know. So I urge you to be cautious.
How about our personal Facebook?
Same thing. Personal Facebook, your personal website. Supposedly, we can advertise commissions.
We can or we can't?
That the settlement allows that.
Allows
But-
that?
Huh?
It does allow it?
The settlement allows that on your own personal website and et cetera, but you have to be really careful. I would really hesitate, and particularly I would hesitate putting a number. What I would recommend is, if you're going to advertise at all, that you say that the seller is willing to compensate the buyer's agent. Please put it in the purchase agreement, something to that effect. That way, then it's negotiated in the purchase agreement between buyer and seller. And I don't think that anybody can argue that those negotiations would be above board. I am going to talk to the legal hotline to see about that advertisement of commission in the listing itself. What their thoughts are on that. Although I don't 100% trust the legal advice from IAR, just because of some of the craziness in some of the forms that they produced. I'm not sure that they've been thoroughly vetted. So at any rate, just so you know that. As far as Realty World update, no updates on Realty World at this point, other than, they have great training. Make sure that you take advantage of that. I think all the training's done for this month, but there'll be a newsletter coming out in the beginning of September. And usually we have at least 2 training sessions with Gabrielle Jeans. She has great information, great ideas for you. And there's an archive of all of her training. So if you've missed any of her training, you can go into your Realty World Insider and you can get information and watch those prior trainings. So you could look through those and see which ones might be of interest to you. And you could watch the recorded version of those. So you don't necessarily have to be there for the live version. Although if you do attend the live version, it does give you the ability to ask questions. So that's the updates for NAR and IIR and MIBOR and Realty World. Questions and answers. What questions do you have for me? And I'll try to give you answers. Any questions?
So Jim, you mentioned asking about advertising like buyer agent compensation in the listing. So I've seen listings that say like buyer agent friendly or buyer's agents welcome or seller will pay buyer's commissions in the listing. Is that something MIBOR has weighed in on or said anything about?
Yes, I would not put anything at all in any listing information. Okay, so I'm talking about physically in the home itself, maybe a card or something to indicate that the seller is willing to pay buyer agency. So you can advertise it with your seller's permission. That's part of the purchase agreement. And so I would think that could be a safe place to advertise that you're willing to pay a commission. Now, as far as advertising an amount, I would be cautious about that. Just showing a willingness so that the buyer's agent knows, hey, I can ask for commission on my purchase agreement and they're likely to pay. Again, it could be depending on how much commission you're negotiating. And again, it's all negotiable between buyer and seller, which is what NAR and these consumer groups want, is that it to be completely transparent and upfront, not something that's negotiated between the two brokers, between themselves, but something that's negotiated between the buyer and seller, and that they're directly involved in it. I think that that probably the broker compensation agreement is not a good document, I don't think, and not a good way to handle commissions. Rather, I think in the purchase agreement is the preferable way to handle your commissions. So advertising commission, again, it's not broker to broker. It's so that the buyer's there with you as you're going through a listing. And if you see a sign that says that the seller's willing to pay buyer broker compensation, then you know that you can ask for that in the purchase agreement, and they're at least open to paying. Now, how much they will pay is negotiable.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think buyers need to see anything related to it. They're going to ask for it in the purchase agreement anyway.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So I don't know why, I don't know how it helps much to say, other than, I don't know. If you're paying a higher commission, I guess it helps to get that information out there, but.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, like I say, I would be cautious doing it. I have no plans to do that in any listings that I get, but I understand that you may want to experiment with that. And as long as it's legal, you can experiment, but be very cautious with any experiments on the MLS. So I would put nothing about any kind of compensation or concessions, even other than just straight concessions, with no mention of buyer agency in the MLS. You can advertise that buyer's willing to pay up to X number of dollars in buyer concessions. But that could be used for anything: closing costs, you know, down payment, you know, whatever. In other words, they're going to give X number of dollars or X percentage to that. And keep in mind that also affects the mortgage, right, William and Blake?
They can, yeah. Depending on how much down payment they have, that they can hit a limit on concessions.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. If there's no other questions, then I'd like to go into the next part of this call, which is some ideas to help you grow your business, because, you know, we've been stuck in this mode of talking about the settlement and, you know, the new rules and regulations and the new standard of practice that we have to live under. But the reality is we still need to grow our real estate business. We still need to help people buy and sell real estate. And so we don't want to lose sight of the need to grow our business. Now, sales are down. There's no doubt about it that there's less real estate being sold this year than last year. So you need to get your share of what business there is out there. So homes are bought and sold every single month in Indiana and in the Indianapolis area. So every single month homes are bought and sold. One of the things that you need to do is make sure that you get your share of the homes that are bought and sold, and that you are working with buyers and sellers and getting your share. So how do you get your share? Well, first of all, one of the things, one of the sayings that years ago I worked when I first got into sales, I worked in business to business sales with my dad, and he was a super salesman. But one of the things that he constantly said to me, and he probably didn't originate this, I'm sure he heard it from somebody else, but he constantly hammered at me If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Let me repeat that. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so here's some questions to ask yourself, okay? Do you have a plan for your business? You know, that's the first question. Do you even have a plan for your business? Yes or no? The second question is, if you have a plan, can you articulate that plan to someone else? Maybe your significant other or a close friend. Can you articulate what your plan is to somebody else? And then the third question about your plan is it written down? Do you have a written copy of it? Could you show it to somebody? To your significant other or to your a close friend? Could you show them your written plan? It's important to have a plan if you're going to be successful in real estate. And of course, that plan needs to include goals and things of that sort. So it's important to keep that in mind when we talk about getting your share of the business. You have to plan for that. You have to plan for where's your business going to come from? Where are you going to get listings? Where are you going to get buyers? Where they're going to come from? What techniques are you going to use? Now, there's a ton of different ways of getting business. You know, we've all heard of the normal, you know, do open houses and call on FSBOs and expireds. And of course, there's fewer expireds out there with a shortage of inventory, but they still exist. So yeah, you could do those things that everybody else is doing. You could farm a neighborhood. That's what everybody else is doing. You'll hear every single real estate brokerage out there telling you to get a neighborhood and farm it. You know, Tucker's going to say that. C21's going to say that. Carpenter's going to say that. EXP is going to say that. Okay, so get in line behind all the other agents trying to do that. I think a better plan is to build a referral-based business because it's more personal and it's something that is unique to you. Because people will refer you as a person over responding to advertising that they see. You know, I don't know how many times I've gone into a listing to list a property, and I've gone in there and I've seen some other agent's refrigerator magnet on the refrigerator, but they're not doing business with that agent. They were signing a listing agreement with me. Why did they do that? Well, because they knew me. They had a relationship with me. They have a relationship with the guy that sent them the refrigerator magnet. However, they were glad to stick it on their refrigerator and use it. So I think we have to think about the importance of building a referral-based business to grow our business, and I think it's particularly going to be critical in the future, and with this new way of doing business and new systems that we use. So so how do you build a referral-based business? Well, one way you do it is you need to stay in contact consistently with the people in your sphere of influence. So you need to stay in contact with them consistently. What does consistently mean? Well, it might mean that you do it every day. It might mean that you do it every week. It might be that you do it every month. It might be that you do it bi-monthly, semi-annual, annual. I don't know. I can't answer that question for you, but there is some consistency that you need to follow. So a question to ask you is, how do you stay in touch with your sphere of influence? How do you stay in touch? Let me hear some answers from you. Unmute yourself. Tell me what you're doing to stay in touch with your sphere of influence. Anybody?
I'm not doing anything new, but the people that I know are waiting because they say interest is gonna go down in September and they don't want to buy houses right now. So that's making it hard for me with the people that I know. So
Yeah.
I think I need to think of something new to do and promote myself and somewhere else, not only with the people that I know. So I need to do something.
Okay. All right. Any other people? How are you sending smoke signals?
I am
Are you
on
doing
Facebook.
that? Nobody's sending smoke signals.
Since Pat is not saying anything, I will say that the Haddad team,
Yeah.
we touch base with our database. I'm gonna say right now it's probably not enough, but
Great.
yeah,
I knew you
mean
guys would
we
have a
do
system.
we do send stuff to our database at least 3, 4, 5 times a year,
Yeah.
and that could be you know, football games like the Colts calendar and things like that they can see just to stay in touch with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of our business is referral business from our database.
Yeah.
I'll add to that. So Keller Williams, they encourage their agents to touch their clients 33 times a year. And that includes via email, mailings, handwritten notes, phone calls. And I've gotten really bad about not doing all of that. So I would say we do send out a monthly newsletter via email, try to mail something worthwhile at least 4 to 6 times a year. Of course, they get holiday cards from us. But yeah, the more they hear from you, I've had clients reach out to me who I sold homes to 17 years ago, and they still remember me and call me, and that's always nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are all great ideas and a good challenge for us to think about. You've heard of ABC, right? ABC. So if you saw ABC on a blackboard, ABC, what does ABC stand for? Always be closing. If you've seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross, ABC, according to Alec Baldwin, is always be closing. So is that what it stands for? I don't think so. I think what it really should stand for is contact category. So if you take your database, and everybody has a database of some kind, hopefully it's in a tool that you can use then to reach out to that database, which would be a good CRM. CRMs are very important to communicating with your database on a regular basis and for keeping track of what you have talked about in the past. So I would categorize clients in your database. So A clients are people that have actually purchased real estate from you, or they have given you a referral that purchased real estate from you. That would be my A client. That's my A list. And my A list people I stay in touch with more often than anyone because they're people that have already demonstrated that they will do business with me and that they will refer me. So I'm gonna stay in touch with them the most often. Then B, those are people that know that I'm in a real estate business. I know them, they know me. If someone mentioned my name in general conversation, they would know who the other person's talking about. So they know you, and they know that you're in a real estate business. That's a B client, but they've never purchased from you or given you a referral. And so your goal with B clients or with the B list is to turn them into A's. And try to get them to either refer somebody to you or to do some things like maybe buy real estate from you. So that's that. And then C is just everybody else. There really is no C. C stands for everybody else. Those are the people that you don't know yet, and they don't know you yet. And those are people that you're going to meet when you're doing business. That might be your hairstylist, your barber. That might be your mechanic where you get your car repaired, or the dealership where you bought your car. Always be closing. Look at Sean's thing there. Phil Dunphy, real estate, always be closing. I love it. He obviously has watched Glengarry Glen Ross. By the way, word to the wise, if you do watch that movie, it's a very depressing movie and it has the F-bomb throughout. So just beware. It is an R-rated movie, but it is very well done. And other than being kind of dark, it's got a lot of stars in it too. Al Pacino and Jack Lemmon and Alec Baldwin and just a whole bunch of people.
What is the name of it?
Huh?
What is the name of the movie?
Glengarry Glen Ross. And believe it or not, it's about real estate sales.
Okay.
But not exactly what we do, but it is about real estate sales. They are.
Jim, I want to add also that we have been working with a company with our CRM for probably 18 years.
Yeah.
And we have people from way back. They keep searching and searching. We also find real estate agents searching in our CRM.
Oh, that's interesting.
It used to be very beneficial in the past when nobody was really advertising much. We used to be on the front page for the Haddad team.
Yeah.
And because, a lot of companies we can't compete with. And I'm talking about FC Tucker and Keller Williams and all those.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot more money than we do. But anyway, the bottom line is that we do spend a little bit of money in Google AdWords with this company. And I don't mind telling you, it's called The Geeks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Real Geeks.
the way we look at this is if we just close one deal a year that came from them, that pays our cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do searches and you can set up people through MIBOR, but when they find us on the Geeks, on the CRM, and they do a search, we ask for their information, their email, their phone number, and a lot of times we get bogus information and crazy names.
Yeah.
Like I'm Mr. Biden, whatever,
Yeah.
But
exactly.
if we get one deal a year, that pays for it.
Yeah.
Pays the cost.
Pays the cost.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are other similar platforms. That Real Geeks is good. Market Leader is another platform. You spend a little money with them, you will get leads. KV Core, another good platform. If you spend a little money with them, you will get leads. You want to invest in your business. If you're going to grow your business, for sure, you need to invest in it. Here's another idea for you, and I've mentioned this idea in the past, but I think it's such a good idea, and I'm not seeing anybody really do it in our brokerage, and I think there's tremendous opportunity there. A friend of mine down in Naples, Florida, followed this system and really blew out her business. But promote new construction on social media. I think that there's a tremendous opportunity there to promote new construction because who has inventory? The home builders. They're building inventory, and they have sometimes they have spec homes, but even if they don't have a spec home, if they've got a lot, then they've got a home that they could sell. that you could sell. So there's inventory out there. And I think that, you know, some ideas. Well, first of all, question, how many of you have a YouTube channel? Raise your hand or raise your hand on electronically. Do you have a YouTube channel for your business? Raise your hand if you do. Okay, only seeing a few hands. Okay, so if you don't have a YouTube channel, I would really encourage you to get a YouTube channel. How much does a YouTube channel cost? Zero. Doesn't cost you anything to have a YouTube channel. If you've got a Facebook account, you need a YouTube channel. If you have an Instagram account, you need a YouTube channel. YouTube is one of the largest search engines in the world. YouTube. We don't often think about it. We think of Google when we think about search engines. And by the way, who owns YouTube? Google. So if you don't have a YouTube channel, you really need to get one. If you need help setting up your YouTube channel, or you need help of how to use it and how to upload videos to it, just let me know. But here's an idea for you. Okay, all of us have brand new homes, brand new home neighborhoods in our areas. Why not go to the model, meet the person in the model, the rep there, and then do a video walkthrough of the model. And you don't need anything fancy. You got a video camera right here in your cell phone, and you could do a very simple and quick video walkthrough of the model home that you're in. And you could promote that on YouTube. So that's something that you could do. You can promote available inventory. If they have a home that's a spec home that they're selling, you can promote that. Just get their permission. Say, hey, I'd like to promote your listing. What model rep's going to say, no, you can't promote that. We're not actually wanting to sell that. We just kind of like having it. You know, they're all going to say, sure. You know, the more the better, because I want to sell it, because all the pressure's on me, the model rep. All the pressure's on them to sell inventory, sell new builds, sell the inventory that's out there already built. That's the pressure's on them. So they would welcome any help from you in terms of trying to do that. Now, granted, not all builders pay as well as other builders. Just beware of that. And not all builders are as easy to work with as others. So choose the builders that are easy to work with. Choose the builders that will compensate you. Choose the builders who have model reps that are open to you, and work with them in your target market area. So we all have a target market area. It might be Carmel, might be Fishers, might be Hamilton County, you know, whatever it is. But generally, it's going to be close to where we live. So it may be South Side Indianapolis, it might be Greenwood, it might be wherever. So get to know the builders in your area and then promote their product. It will be a way for you to build your base of people. And of course, when you're doing this promotion, promote it to your sphere of influence. So get your sphere of influence to follow you on your YouTube channel, and get them to like your YouTube channel, to subscribe to it, to interact with you on YouTube. And that will help be a way to communicate with your sphere of influence. And you can then promote YouTube on Facebook. So the things that you post on YouTube, you can then take that link, post it on Facebook, and now you've got a nice Facebook post. Or you could post it on LinkedIn, and now you have a nice LinkedIn. Or you could post it on Instagram. So you have various ways that you can promote that. So, at any rate, those are the ideas that I have for you this morning on how to grow your business.
Let me throw something in here before we stop.
Yeah.
Stay away from Ryan Homes.
Stay away from Ryan Homes, okay?
They only pay $2,000, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't even go there.
Okay, so beware of Ryan Holmes, 2000, unless you're willing to work for 2000. So be that as it may, I think it's a good idea to promote builder inventory. So who knows? Ryan might turn around if they saw somebody really promoting everybody's inventory but theirs. Then they might build a question. Well, why is nobody promoting our inventory? Maybe it's because we're pretty short-sighted in the commission that we're offering.
Yeah, DR Horton's still paying 3%.
Yeah. Keep in mind, if you have a buyer agreement at 2.5, you can't get that 3.
Our world pays 3 too.
Yeah, amend your buyer agreement before you go show DR Horton. Sounds like.
Yeah. You want to have a buyer agreement before you show any home, period. So, okay. All right. Well, that's everything. Thanks for your attendance today. And I'm glad that